Well, it's time once again for your Raw review. And tonight we have the episode 999 before the 1000th episode of Raw. Very disappointing Money in the Bank. I've got my review. You can check it out. It's the review before this one. And Money in the Bank, horrible. Only one good match. Well, let's see how they did tonight. Low expectations, but let's see. So we start off and we got CM Punk, and CM Punk is yammering on about his promo he did last year that he revolutionized the industry. I'm a Punk fan, but his promos haven't been exciting as of late. He is a one-hit wonder. That was his biggest promo last year. He had a couple of good ones, some with Vince McMahon last year, and it was around the Money in the Bank last year. And after that, he just started to go sour. So he's just, reminiscing about something that happened a year ago. Big Show comes out, and the fans are chanting against Big Show, and he tells them, "You're being rude." You're being rude? He should tell the fans to shut their fucking mouths. What is this? He sounds like a fucking pussy. Well, it's the big pussy. And then CM Punk says that, pretty much tells him that he's an underachiever. He's 7 feet tall, but he's a loser. And he tells him, well, that's your opinion. A 7-foot monster. He should have told CM Punk, I could take your little ass and fucking cram it into a suitcase and then chuck it off a goddamn bridge into the river. I mean, come on. Make him look like a fucking pussy. And then he says, well, John Cena's going to beat you. More promoting for Cena. More subliminal. It's not even subliminal. It's pretty obvious. Promoting of John Cena. A heel is promoting John Cena. What? Up next, the first match is R-Truth and Kofi Kingston defending their tag titles against the Primetime Players. Boring match. Very quick. Abraham Washington cost the Primetime Players the match. What good is AEW to the Primetime Players if the first title shot they get, their manager cost them the match? Just a waste. The Primetime Players suck. No one cares. Once again, just like at the pay-per-view, silence during this match. Who the fuck cares about the tag team wrestling? I think they should just abolish the division because it's just nonsense already. Then up next, you got Del Rio defeating Zack Ryder. He beats him in under a minute. Zack Ryder just looks pathetic. Beating him in no time flat. Ryder, the only way he can freshen up his run here in the WWE is to go heel, but I don't even know if the fans will care if that happens. I mean, it'd be interesting. It's just an idea. Then up next, we got Rikishi returning to defeat Heath Slater. This was a nice nostalgic moment. We got to see Rikishi dance with his two sons, the Usos, who probably nobody even remembers is in the WWE. But it was nice to see Rikishi again, giving the Banzai drop to Heath Slater, picking up the win. So that was cool to see, nostalgic. I liked Rikishi back in the day. I was a fan of Too Cool. So that was a positive moment on Raw. See, I'm not all negative. That was positive. I liked it. Then you had Daniel Bryan and AJ defeating The Miz and Eve. The Miz returns and continues to lose. Then after this match, by the way, it sucked. Boring match. And AJ gets proposed to by Daniel Bryan. So now we're gonna have a wedding next week. So what? So now she's not the referee. So is now Daniel Bryan turning face? They're already giving up on his heel turn? I don't know. I really don't want to see a wedding next week. Come on. A wedding during the PG era? This is just going to be nonsense. This is the first wedding of the PG era. And I know that there's no way that this is going to be raunchy. Hopefully something interesting happens. I can't even make any predictions other than AJ, slapping him and making a fool out of Daniel Bryan, which I hope doesn't happen, because that's the last thing he needs to do after losing again at Money in the Bank. Anyway, up next is Swagger and Ryback, and the match doesn't even get started. You think that Swagger is actually going to get the best of Ryback because he gut wrench power bombs him, starts beating him up. I was starting to go, yeah, Swagger's actually looking good for a change. He might not commit suicide. But then Ryback just kicks his ass out of the ring. I mean, he actually beat down Ryback more than anybody has before, but it doesn't even matter because Ryback still looked like $1 million by the end of it. So I don't see what the point of this was. Anyway, Ziggler comes out and with Vicky Guerrero, and he starts talking about he's going to be the best champion. And then Vicky Guerrero starts repeating everything that he's saying after that. It's getting good heat, but it's a little annoying. Jericho comes out, and Ziggler is just dissing Jericho. And everything he's saying is true. He hasn't won a match in a long time. Jobber Co. Exactly. He hasn't won anything in a while. It's pointless. Jericho, one of the greatest superstars of all time, is looking like a loser. And, Ziggler was right. But then he gets Codebreaker. Is it me, or does it seem like he's always getting his ass kicked in every single segment on every single TV show? He's the Money in the Bank. He's the #1 contender. And he's just looking like a complete joke week after week. But this was a good promo, and maybe it'll set up a match between the two. It has potential. Jericho is losing his touch, by the way. He has slowed down. It's pretty evident. But maybe Ziggler could get a good match out of him. It could be a good match at SummerSlam. So, I'm looking forward to that angle. Then up next is Pointless. Brodus Clay defeating JTG. Why even give JTG an entrance? They don't give any other the guys that are jobbing to Brodus Clay an entrance. Are we supposed to believe that JTG actually stood a chance? He's a jobber. Release his ass. He's not even that great in the ring. So, and we have another dance. Rikishi already danced. He's the true dancer. What is this dancing overkill? Fucking horrible. Just leave the dancing to Rikishi. We didn't need to have Brodus Clay try to show up Rikishi's dance moves. Rikishi is the true entertainer. Then up next we got Punk defeating the Big Show by disqualification. This was, the announcers were ridiculous. They kept on talking about, Cena's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. So you obviously knew he wasn't going to do it tonight. Just as this match was getting good, the Big Show pushes the referee out of the way and they disqualify. Just as it was getting good. Typical of WWE booking. Cena comes out and says that he's going to cash it in next week. This is pathetic. He's trying to look good for the kids. If you're going to cash in the Money in the Bank, kids, you got to do it the right way. All the other 10 guys cashed it in when their opponent was weak. Even the Big Show was telling him, don't be a pussy, Cena, cash it in now. Why was he so obsessed with Cena doing this? That's beyond me. But anyway, he's got to do everything the right way. Well, at least we got a decent main event for the 1,000 show next week. Last year's Money in the Bank, Cena and Punk was a great match. So hopefully they're going to repeat the great match chemistry that they have together. It's just that he's the Ned Flanders of WWE, Cena. He's got to do everything the right way. Anyway, there was some good announcements. Lesnar's going to be there next week. We already knew that. Nothing really special at all on the show. Very PG. The Big Show looking pathetic. Very predictable episode. Rikishi returning was okay, but really not that great of an episode. But hopefully, next week is shaping up to be a pretty decent 1,000th episode. Could be a good main event. The wedding, I'm not excited. But Lesnar, motherfuckers, next week. I think we should be getting excited. Alright, anyway. See you later, motherfuckers.